Today's selection will be Yahweh is the light.
Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth, therefore let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you, to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. The title of today's sermon is Favor to the Wicked. And it's one of those things that we have mentioned several times. This is something that comes directly out of this book. And we can clearly look at the things that go on around us and see that the scripture is directly and right on point. I don't know if you guys get certain news things to your phone, but it was reported that Jeffrey Epstein hung himself this morning. And understand, this is a man that had 4 or 5 houses. One of them was just, one of his houses was $77 million. Now, it is very, very difficult to try to explain to somebody who has a $77 million house that God is not on their side. Because this is what people will use. They use every bit of money that they have, every bit of pomp and circumstance, and they said, God has blessed me. The question is, what God? This man has 5 houses. One of his houses was in the same neighborhood as Bill Cosby, had his own private island. People named it Molestation Island or something like that, where he would just fly the little young girls in. I mean, he got his own plane, he got his own everything. Fly the little young girls in, fly them back out. You know, so it's one thing committing, some atrocious acts in your house. We fly him to an island and do whatever that is he was doing. He ended up having, they gave him time. Of course, he was able to make that time go in 6 days out of 7. He didn't have to, he was able to leave the jail. That was favor being shown to the wicked. What happened? He didn't stop what he was doing. He keep trying to explain to people, and Yahweh sometimes has to show people that I'm going to have to show you what manner of heart that you have inside of you. You think that you can do this on your own, and you think that you will stop. By Yahweh not allowing this man to be locked down, what happened? He continued in what he was doing. More and more people got victimized. More and more people got hurt until he got put in that 6x6. Then he ready to die. Biggest cowards on earth. They do all the hell all over the earth. But as soon as they get put in that 6x6, oh, I'm out of here. They ready to kill themselves after they have inflicted pain upon everybody else. And this is going on, and Yahweh is taking his time dealing with each and every situation, proving to the wicked that they are wicked. See, it's sometimes difficult to explain to the wicked that they are wicked. A person can look in the mirror and they can see what they want to see. You can look in that mirror and say, that's an awesome guy in there. That's an awesome woman in there. You know, imagine if you do a few good deeds along the way with all the evil dealings. Understand, these same people that were doing all of these atrocious acts, they also make donations to St. Jude Hospital to help the kids. So he'll help some kids while molesting some over here and still believe that they're in a good stance. See? So Yahweh has to prove to the wicked that they are indeed wicked. And sometimes the best way to do that is to show them favor and show them, you will never stop this until I stop you. I've lived that situation. I've been in a situation where I told myself, this is the last time that I'm going to do this wicked act. And Yahweh protected me all the way until I was done. And then I was negotiating my next 5 times of wickedness as soon as I got finished. You know why he protected me all the way to the end? Because he needed to show me. Oh, you think you pretty. You think you got it together, don't you? Let me show you something. And he protected me all the way till I was done. Now, I should have still been protected had I left. But I couldn't leave. Because now I'm negotiating how I'm going to do more wickedness now. I have now renegotiated the contract that I made with Yahweh. Of course, I called him God then. But he showed up. He protected me. And then proved to me that my heart wasn't in the place where I thought it was. And to do that, he had to sit me in one of them 6x6. You have a way of finding your heart when it's a 6x6. You know, it's hard to lose it. There ain't nowhere else to go. You know, pow, he bump into it, pow, okay, well, there go my heart right here. It can't go nowhere. Got a way of finding it. The question is, will you still know where it is when you come out of there? Now, it is written that Yahweh is a spirit, and he seeks such to worship him in truth and in spirit. Yahweh requires truth in the inward parts. Without seeking truth with all our power and might, man deceives himself concerning the righteousness of Yah. It is written, with the merciful, you will show yourself merciful. With an upright man, you will show yourself upright. With the pure, you will show yourself pure. And with the forward, you will show yourself forward. The forward goes ahead with full steam, deceiving themselves with their own deceivings while they feast with you, feeling completely justified in all of their dealings, in all of their hard sayings, and in all of their unjust judgments until the day of judgment. Let's begin today's sermon in Psalms chapter 37. Psalm chapter 37, and we're going to start that at verse 1. It's real easy to look across the room and see all the wrong dealings across the room. It's harder to see the wrongdoings that happen in the chair that you're sitting in. Self-check is one of the most valuable things that you can ever possess. They design computers and machines that there's a self-diagnostic. That's called self-check. Okay, the diagnostic is a nice little fancy word. Self-check. It checks itself. It starts running, something ain't right. Your car got it. Your car has a self-check. After a while, this is what the check engine light is. Hey man, I went through self-check and I found something wrong with me. Hey man, you need to go see about this, man. Something wrong with me. You got a self-check. But what we do is when the check hard light come on, what we do is point at the dude in front of us. Boom! Check hard light come on. You're like, yo, you need to go see about yourself. Wait a minute, no, that was your check hard light. That wasn't anybody else check hard light. That's the way we throw that. You got a self-check. But if you condition yourself that every time your self-check light come on, that it's got to be a problem with somebody else, you ain't never going to get that thing fixed until you break down on the side of the road. That's what happens. You hear that little tick in your car? Tick, tick. You keep driving. Tick, tick. Turns into a tank, tank. Then the tank, tank turns into a clunk, clunk. Then the clunk, clunk turns to a clunk. And now you're on the side of the road. I don't know what happened to it. Wait a minute. You had about 50 different warnings before it just put you down. It didn't just put you down. You had warnings along the way. Yahweh does the same thing. Be in altercation with this person. Be in altercation with that person. Be in altercation with this person. Be in altercation with that person. Right. Yahweh is giving you your warnings. You about to break down. You about to break down. We ignore that. Let somebody else check hard light. That ain't mine. Psalms 37. Let's start that at verse 1.
Fret not yourself because of evildoers, neither be you envious against the workers of lawlessness.
Right, because the workers of lawlessness ends up having things, and then we end up jealous because of it. This is what causes us to want to do evil. Look, man, look at all the stuff they got. We sitting over here trying to do right. Look how much stuff wrong got. This is how the adversary entices you to do evil. Go ahead.
For they shall soon be cut down like the grass.
But not now. See, Yahweh allows some things to go on so he can show people their heart. Yahweh already knows what our heart is. Yahweh knows every heart in here. It's one of those things where people say, especially when they're doing something wrong, they use that favorite Tupac quote, God knows my heart. You know, oh, I loved it. I used it too when I was like most wicked. You know, that was my thing, saying God knows my heart. Right. Like he was ever in question about your heart. The question is, do you know your heart? He ain't doing any of this for him to know your heart. He already knew what it was. What he's trying to do is show you what's in it. He already knows what's in it. But if he deal with you according to your heart without showing you, you're going to think he's unjust. Can't believe Yahweh did this to me. So no. He said, no. Pause. Let this go along so that I can show them what's in their heart. Then I'll give them just judgment so that they'll understand the judgment. And why is that confusing? When we was little, when your mama gave you a whooping, you remember that talk that happened? There was a pre-whooping talk, a during the whooping talk, and a post-whipping talk. Okay? There was a part where you had to explain to the child why they was about to get a whooping. You understand what's about to happen now? No, you understand. What did you do? You understand what you did. Let me explain to you why you getting this whooping. So that as this thing goes down, they'll understand and have somewhere to put that. The next time they get ready to do that, that memory come in. They be like, yeah, I'm about to. Whoa, what was that? What was that? You know what that was in that child? Self-check. But if you don't put nothing in there, there's nothing to self-check. See? Something was put in there. It was put in there so that it can activate self-check. But if you do nothing, there's nothing to be in there to ever cause self-check. Self-check is a programming feature. It is not in the hardware. It is in the software. Doesn't matter how big, strong, and capable you are. Self-check is software. You take out the computer, there is no self-check. Go ahead, bro.
And wither as the green herb. Verse 3. Trust in Yahweh and do good, so shall you dwell in the land, and verily you shall be fed. Delight yourself also in Yah, and he shall give you the desires of your heart.
Now, this is why you can't explain to people that the things that they have are not coming from Yahweh. But see, the adversary would love to give you things because he knows that those very things are going to destroy you. Yahweh ain't going to give you nothing that's going to destroy you. If Yahweh knows that this particular thing is going to destroy you, he has two options. Either I'm not going to give it to you, or I got to fix you before I give it to you. One or the other. Now, I got something for you, But if I give it to you, you're going to kill yourself. Now, I need to just keep this and never give it to you. Oh, I got to fix you. Now, which one of these things you want to happen? Go ahead.
Commit your way unto Yah. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. And he shall bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your judgment as the noonday. Rest in Yahweh, and wait patiently for him.
We don't know what that is. That word patience. It says the Spirit worketh patience. Go ahead.
Fret not yourself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who brings wicked devices to pass.
Right. I remember being angry that I couldn't do evil like everybody else. And I didn't realize that it was a blessing. Everybody else do evil. I tried to do it. It didn't work out for me. I mean, I tried to do wrong, but I couldn't get it right. And I tried to do wrong over and over. I said, well, let me do wrong on the left-hand side. I tried it on the right-hand side. It didn't work out. Got to be the other wrongdoers. Then they want me around. They were like, man, everybody go to jail when you come. You janky, bro. Don't even come out here. Here goes some money. We're going to pay you not to come. That seems like a curse when you trying to be wicked in the street. Later on, you realize, oh, that was a blessing. Every time I tried to do it, he wouldn't let me excel in it. Right. All blessings don't seem like blessings. Go ahead.
Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself in any wise to do evil. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon Yah, they shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, you shall diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. The wicked plots against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth.
Right. Every time you turn around, somebody got something to say about somebody else. Never, ever dealing with self-check. Go ahead.
The Adonai shall laugh at him, for he sees that his day is coming. The wicked have drawn out the sword, and have bent their bow, to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. Their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. A little that a righteous man has is better than the riches of many wicked. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but Yahweh uphold the righteous.
Right. Verse 16, a little that a righteous man has is better than the riches of many wicked. How is that possible? I've seen situations where people who do wrong, because they're doing wrong, they constantly get and lose. Get and lose. When they're out in the street, they get all of these things and they get busted and they take everything away. They get, they lose. The righteous work slowly. They get, but they don't lose. They get, but they don't lose. What happened? After a time, you look, and the righteous man is sitting right where the wicked is. He has done all this wicked to acquire all these things, but he's lost it so many times and had to start over so many times. Guess where he's sitting? The righteous guy don't have not one strike against him. He ain't been to jail. He hadn't had any of those things, but that little that he has accumulated over time. It never has gotten taken away from him. But people so in a hurry to get things fast, they lose it just as fast as they get it. That's that thing that they used to tell us back in the days about fast money. But you know, you was young, you didn't want to hear that. You know, them old timers, you know, sitting on the porch with that funny stuff in the cup, drinking. Hey boy, that fast money gonna be the death of you. Man, get out of here, man. Nobody want to hear that. Later on, you realize, wow, you make that stuff fast, you spend it fast. You have zero to show for it when it's all done. When you make that money slow, you're a little hesitant to throwing it. See, folks who work hard for their money, they don't make it rain. I won't let God deal with that rain. I don't do that. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 18. Yahweh knows the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. They shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of Yah shall be as the fat of the lambs. They shall consume, into smoke shall they consume away. The wicked borrows and pays not again, but the righteous shows mercy and gives. For such as be blessed of him shall inherit the earth, and they that be cursed of him shall be cut off.
Constantly you hear about the righteous inheriting the earth. When we get into these fairy tales told on Sunday morning, everybody going zip-tying into heaven. Yet we keep reading about the righteous inheriting the earth. Israel's promise about righteousness was to be set in our own land and to live in peace. This is somebody else's pipe dream about going to heaven. Yahweh already created a paradise. The garden was man's paradise. What make you think you get to tear up one and he give you another? No, you need to fix the paradise that he gave you. Go ahead.
Verse 23. The steps of a good man are ordered by Yahweh, and he delighted in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for Yahweh upholds him with his hand. I have been young, and now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. He is ever merciful and lends, and his seed is blessed. Depart from evil and do good, and dwell forevermore. For Yahweh loves judgment and forsaketh not his saints. They are preserved forever, but the seed of the wicked shall be cut off.
Yahweh loves judgment. This is one of the things that somehow gets lost in the New Testament part of the book as it is taught. It is not lost in the writings. It is lost in how it is taught because things are being taught one verse at a time. Because it's not being taught one subject at a time. The whole part of Yahweh loving judgment is misplaced. But I guarantee you it's throughout the New Testament. All throughout the New Testament. But if you're only hearing that 2 lines at a time, then that concept is being lost in the New Testament. Go ahead.
Psalms 37 and verse 29. The righteous shall inherit the land and dwell therein forever. The mouth of the righteous speaks wisdom, and his tongue talks of judgment. The law of his Elohim is in his heart, none of his steps shall slide.
The mouth of the righteous speaks wisdom, and his tongue talks of judgment. That's just not judgment to somebody else. See, it's sometimes the judgment that you think about yourself that makes you turn. See, the mouth of the righteous don't just always talk about somebody else's judgment. What about yours? Ain't no judgment supposed to come to you? Go ahead.
The wicked watches the righteous and seeks to slay him. Yahweh will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn him when he is judged. Wait on Yahweh and keep his way, and he shall exalt you to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, you shall see it. I have seen the wicked in great power, in spreading himself like a green bay tree. Yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I sought him, but he could not be found.
Right. With all of the things, all of the wicked devices, with all of the so-called prosperity, Yahweh is going to make it all go away. Go ahead.
Mark the perfect man, and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. But the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The end of the wicked shall be cut off. But the salvation of the righteous is of Yahweh. He is their strength in the time of trouble. And Yahweh shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them, because they trust in him.
And Yahweh shall help them and deliver them. Doesn't mean that the righteous is not going to go through anything. See, he says he shall help them. If they don't go through nothing, he don't have nothing to help them with. He shall deliver them. If they didn't get caught up in anything, he wouldn't need to deliver them from nothing. He will deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him. He's going to let you go through some things so he can exercise that trust. See, a lot of people say they trust until something happens. It's easy to trust in calm times. But it's when that water get rough that you have to start asking some questions. Go to the next graphic. I want you to read this definition here.
Upright, from H3477, Yashar. from H3474, straight, convenient, equity, yashar, just, meet, pleased well, righteous, straight, upright.
So then when we deal with this yashar, we're dealing with righteous, equity, something that is pleasing. So we are continually, as we go through these things, we continuously run into this word for upright. Let's go to our 1 Kings chapter 8. 1 Kings chapter 8, and we're going to read verses 1 through 11. Now, when dealing with this whole thing about being upright and having truth in the inward parts, we have to then look at, there is the part that is the outward part that we see of one another. Then there's that inward part. It says that Yahweh requires truth in the inward parts. That is a whole nother level of truth. That is a level of truth that has to be within yourself. Go ahead.
1 Kings chapter 8 and verse 1. Then Shlomo assembled the elders of Israel, and all the heads of the tribes, the chief of the fathers of the children of Israel, unto King Shlomo in Jerusalem, that they might bring up the ark of the covenant of Yahweh out of the city of David, which is Zion. And all the men of Israel assembled themselves unto King Solomon at the feast in the month Ethanim, which is the 7th month.
And we're going to read something on that so we can get a definition of that, because you don't find a whole lot of names for months in dealing with Israel. Matter of fact, when you defined a lot of them, you'll find of foreign derivement or something like that, because they picked up those things when our people was in captivity. But this one is a little different. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And all the elders of Israel came, and the priests took up the ark. And they brought up the ark of Yahweh, and the tabernacle of the congregation, and all the holy vessels that were in the tabernacle, even those did the priests and the Levites bring up. And King Shlomo and all the congregation of Israel that were assembled unto him were with him before the ark, sacrificing sheep and oxen that could not be told nor numbered for multitude. And the priest brought in the ark of the covenant of Yahweh unto his place, into the oracle of the house, to the most holy place, even under the wings of the cherubims. For the cherubims spread forth their 2 wings over the place of the ark, and the cherubims covered the ark and the staves thereof above. And they drew out the staves, that the end of the staves were seen out in the holy place before the oracle, and they were not seen without. And there they are unto this day.
Right. So then what you have is, you have the regular tabernacle. Then you have the place where this ark sits, where it is in the covenant. This is in the Holy of Holies. This would be behind the veil. Okay. So this is another level of holiness. You have the holiness of the tabernacle, which is the regular portion, which is the area that we're sitting in. This curtain represents the holy part that is behind that you don't just go in all of the time, that you just can't go in any old kind of way. You ain't supposed to be in a regular place any old kind of way, but you have to be even more on top of your game to go into the next one. Well, then that's truth on another level then. See, you got truth, and then you have truth in the inward parts. This is why when the brother touched Yahweh's seat, this is where Yahweh comes to commune in the other part of the tabernacle. Brother touched that, he had to die. That's defiling Yahweh's seat. There's a whole nother level of truth in that. So without the inner truth, it then condemns the outer part. See, we have that thing where we'll show people our outer part, but that inner part would be something else. But here's the thing. The priest had to go in, make atonement, deal with these things in the inner part. to sanctify the rest of the part. So they could do all of their things. But if he didn't deal with this atonement, deal with these things in the inner part correctly, it then defiled the outer part. Let that marinate for a second. Go ahead.
Verse 9. There was nothing in the ark save the 2 tables of stone which Moshe put there at Horeb when Yahweh made a covenant with the children of Israel when they came out of the land of Egypt. And it came to pass, when the priests were come out of the holy place, that the cloud filled the house of Yahweh, so that the priests could not stand to minister because of the cloud, for the glory of Yahweh had filled the house of Yahweh.
All right. Let's go to the next graphic and let's read this definition here of Ethanim.
Ethanim from H388.
And H, of course, means Hebrew. If you get to the things in the New Testament when we're defining those, it'll say G. That'll let you know that that word was Greek, the original word that was there. So when you see H, the original writing was Hebrew. Not all of these things was originally written in Hebrew, especially when we get to the New Testament. Go ahead.
Plural of H386, always with the article, the permanent brooks.
Permanent brooks. So when you deal with brooks, you have to deal with what it said or the time that it says that this particular thing happened and what was going on. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 23. It says the month Ethanim was also what month? 7th. All right. So Leviticus chapter 23, and we're going to read verses 37 through 44.
Verse 37. These are the feasts of Yahweh, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto Yah, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice and drink offerings, everything upon his day. Besides the Sabbaths of Yah, and besides your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your freewill offerings, which you give unto Yah. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the fruit of the land, you shall keep a feast unto Yahweh 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. And you shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook. And you shall rejoice before Yahweh your Elohim 7 days.
So then this is dealing with this feast in the 7th month, which is the Feast of Tabernacles. You are then to make these booths, it says, and willows of the brook. Then they called this month permanent brooks. They are then using, but there's another point that we have to make here, because this is where people get kind of a little off. Keep reading.
And you shall keep it a feast unto Yahweh 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month. You shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are Israelite born shall dwell in booths.
So you shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are Israelite born shall dwell in booths. Keep reading.
That your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths. When I brought them out of the land of Egypt, I am Yahweh your Elohim. And Moshe declared unto the children of Israel the feasts of Yahweh.
So when you deal with this, then they were to get these willows of the brook to make the booths. So they went and got these things out of the woods, because they're supposed to rejoice before Yahweh. What people have been teaching our people, they go get the trees and then stay in the woods. No, you go in the woods to get the tree. Get the tree, bring it out. Make the booths, and then you present yourselves before Yahweh. You see how we'll take part of an instruction and then just press pause and just stay there? So now Tabernacles has been known all over this country. You got people going on camping trips during Tabernacles. You're supposed to go in there, get those things, make the booth, but not stay there. Remember, Saul followed half of Yahweh's instruction, and when it was said and done, Samuel said, you didn't follow instructions. He said, but I did. You either followed all the instructions or you didn't follow any of the instructions. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 6.
Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 1. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahweh your Elohim commanded to teach you, that you might do them in the land whither you go to possess it, that you mighteth fear Yahweh your Elohim, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command you, you and your son and your son's son, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged.
Right. You can't teach your sons to walk in the commandments when you're not walking in them. Because they're going to look at you and say, look at this hypocrisy he talking about right here. You telling your kid, look here, man, do not smoke. Yeah, man, that's smoking bad labor. You going to put that cigarette down, right? How you telling me not to smoke? So make sure you don't smoke, man, but pass me my lighter. You playing, right? You're going to teach the kids the commandments while they watch you break them. And kids ain't going to say nothing. They just watch. Let me tell you something. My child has said something to me about something that happened when he was 6 years old. Even told me what kind of shirt I had on. I just looked at him. You remember what? You can do whatever that is you think you're doing. And think that them kids don't remember. But out of nowhere, a whole full thought gonna fly out their mouth. And they didn't even know how deep it was in there. You can't teach them about the commandments while you're breaking them. Go ahead.
Verse 3. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily, as Yahweh Elohim of your fathers has promised you, in the land that flows with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our Elohim is one Yahweh.
Now, this is how Lucifer confuses the relationship between Yahweh and his true heartfelt believer. Yahweh says, if you do these things, then I will lead you to the land of milk and honey. I will sustain you and give you these things. Here comes Lucifer to try to get in between the relationship of you and Yahweh. Look, just come worship me. I'll give you that stuff. What? So he wants to intervene in y'all relationship. I'll give you that stuff and you ain't got to do all of that stuff that Yahweh asking you to do. I'll give it to you. Thereby causing a rift in the relationship between you and your Elohim. Go ahead.
And you shall love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might.
But you can't do that if you're accepting gifts from Lucifer. See, as I attempt to worship Yahweh with all my heart, all my might, then here comes the adversary. And he starts giving me stuff. It's affecting the love that I have for Yahweh my Elohim. Because Yahweh is withholding stuff from me so that he won't hurt me. Well, look, I need to show you this, this, and this. Yahweh has shown me things about my life when I was 15 years old that didn't come to pass until I was almost 40. Confused me all those years. See, Yahweh not just now knowing you when you came in the word. You just not knowing him. He ain't just not knowing you. We think that, oh, yeah, I found Yahweh. Yahweh wasn't lost. You were. He has always known who you were. He told the brother, before you was formed in the womb, I knew you and ordained you a prophet. So when you were just a little limp in your daddy's pocket, I already knew you. Your dad hadn't even met your mama yet. I already knew you. He not just not knowing you. Go ahead.
And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sitteth in your house, and when you walketh by the way, and when you lieth down, and when you riseth up.
Right. Now, these things help solidify the things in the children. But at the same time, the children are also watching what it is you do. So at some point, you look like to them a double talker. Because you talking the commandments, remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Well, where you going on the Sabbath? Oh, I'm finna go over here to this game, and I'm going to go do this such and such. I thought you read to me something about the Sabbath. Right. Go ahead.
And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them upon the post of your house, and on your gates. And it shall be, when Yahweh your Elohim shall have brought you into the land which he sware unto your fathers, to Abraham, to Esaac, and to Jacob, to give you great and goodly cities, which you buildeth not. And
this is the hope that true Israel have. See, we're in the daughter of Babylon, where these people have done great evil to get great possessions. Do we ever consider that we have houses already built for us? Do you ever consider that there's a land that Yahweh is allowing somebody else to cultivate? He already know where your land at. It is the same land of your ancestors. He just let some other people stay there for a while. So it really makes it silly when we put all of our time, energy, and effort into doing everything we can here, or to try and do evil to get all of these things, and we got a real inheritance waiting for us. A real one. One that won't ever be taken away. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And houses full of all good things, which you filled not, and wells dig, which you diggeth not, vineyards and olive trees, which you planteth not, when you shall have eaten and be filled.
Right. Understand. We've had to do that. As servants in this land, we've built things that we couldn't go in. We've planted whole gardens that we couldn't eat anything out of. In slavery, we had to sneak food. And we the ones planting it. And you had to sneak to eat that same stuff that you planted. Yahweh said, all right, I know all that. I got your turn and your payback coming. But not right away. Because we have to understand that we are his servants, and only him are we supposed to serve. That is the punishment of Israel. You were created to be a servant. You either serve Yahweh or you serve the rest of the earth. Now, we see what it's like serving man. Ain't no fun. Then all our time, energy, and effort then needs to be put in serving Yahweh, so none of our children will ever go through anything like this again. Go ahead.
Then beware lest you forget Yahweh, who brought you forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage.
This is when we forgetful. Once we get all the stuff that we looking for, once we get a little money in our pocket, we get something going a certain way, here come that selective amnesia. See, we can talk to Yahweh every night when we want something, when we need something, when we under some harsh conditions. He removed the conditions. All of a sudden, Yahweh don't hear from us. And Yahweh is a very jealous Elohim. He looks and sees, oh man, this gift that I gave you seems to be causing you a problem with worshiping me. Now he got two options. He can either move your heart to be able to deal with that gift that he gave you, or he can move the gift. Which one he deals with is up to you. You making a decision one way or another. Go ahead.
You shall fear Yahweh your Elohim and serve him, and shall swear by his name. You shall not go after other gods of the people which are round about you.
Mm-hmm.
For Yahweh your Elohim is a jealous Elohim among you.
Right.
Lest the anger of Yahweh your Elohim be kindled against you and destroy you from off the face of the earth.
Yeah, but what if you got acquaintances that you have actually placed as gods in your own life? You won't go to church if they don't go to church. You don't serve if they don't serve. You don't do this if they don't do this. Then Yahweh got a decision to make. All right. Do I want to keep this individual? If not, let him go. But if I want to keep this individual, I either got to fix their heart concerning this situation here, or I got to remove them from that situation. See, we make some decisions whether or not we vocalize those decisions or not. You make decisions by your actions. When the cell phone company say, hey, we got a new policy, you didn't have to go down to, Verizon and AT&T and sign no paper. All you had to do was pick up the phone and use it again. All right, you agree? Well, I didn't remember agreeing. Well, did you use the phone? Yes. Well, then you agree. Yeah, but I don't remember agreeing. I see right here, you made a phone call. It was a 44272-1919. You see that phone call right there? Now, I sent you an email about the new policy. Yeah. And then you made a phone call after the new policy, right? Yeah. Well, then you agreed then. Right. That is. Go ahead, brother. Did you finish that?
Verse 16. You shall not tempt Yahweh your Elohim as you tempted him in Mesa.
All right. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 26. Yeah, that's why they're turning all these contracts into computerized contracts. Oh, boy, we be clicking. Ain't nobody reading nothing. Click, click. So you must agree to click, click. Have you read click, click? You must make click. And we get angry because sometimes we agree 4-5 times. It ain't moving fast enough. Click, 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 click. You ain't even read the page. You ain't scroll. Click, man. Get to the next screen. I'm trying to get to where I'm trying to go. I ain't got time to be. And click it. Right. Then later on when the problem come back up, sir, you remember you agreed? I didn't agree to nothing. You remember this, sir? What? Click, click. Oh. Yeah. Right. Isaiah chapter 26. And let's start that at verse 1.
In that day shall this song be sung in the land of Yehuda. We have a strong city. Salvation will Elohim appoint for walls and bulwarks. Open you the gates, that the righteous nation which keepeth the truth may enter in.
Open you the gates that the righteous nation which keeps the truth may enter in. See, because Yahweh has paused on dealing with the infidel who causes everybody else an infidel, because he has paused on dealing with these individuals in our land posing as Israel, it has given them even more power. See, he has shown favor to the wicked, and they will not learn righteousness, though they talk of the law constantly. They will not learn righteousness. Go ahead.
You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. Trust you in Yahweh forever, for in Yahweh Elohim is everlasting strength. For he bringeth down them that dwell on high. The lofty city, he layeth it low. He layeth it low, even to the ground. He brings it even to the dust. The foot shall tread it down, even the feet of the poor, and the steps of the needy. The way of the just is uprightness. You, most upright, does weigh the path of the just. Yea, in the way of your judgments, O Yahweh, have we waited for you. The desire of our soul is to your name.
The desire of our soul is to your name. Go ahead.
And to the remembrance of you. With my soul have I desired you in the night. Yea, with my spirit within me will I seek you early. For when your judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness.
For when your judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. So as long as they're not getting just judgment, they are not going to learn righteousness. So as long as Yahweh sits back and allows things to happen, there won't be this push for righteousness. But when Yahweh start dealing with some things, see, people don't learn righteousness because they think it's a good thing. What happens is the fear of that judgment creates a system in your mind. You drive down the road, you see the police pull somebody over. You have a conversation with somebody and they tell you, man, that ticket was $400. That got you right there. Boom. That's in your head. Next time you're going down the highway, you see the police, your foot automatically go on the brake. Ain't no even thinking about it. Wasn't no convincing yourself. You know what? You ought to slow down. Sometimes people done almost wrecked trying to slow down because they thought it was a police car, and it was just one of them crazy brothers riding around in an old police car. I can't understand that for the life of me. Why the dudes in the hood would drive around in an old Crown Victoria and then put rims on it. Okay, the objective in the hood is to stay out of the police car. Why would you get one and then put rims on it? I don't get, and you can keep the police light on the side, scaring the hell out of the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? Because then we come down the road, we see the little mixture police car, we slam it on the brake, come to figure out there's some dude named Pookie. Pook, man, you're scaring the hell out of us, bro. Why you in the police car, man? You know, because we looking at the lights, we trying to guess whether or not that's the police or not. Didn't nobody have to say nothing to us. The system was created in your head from the other things that have happened. You know the power of that ticket and the inconvenience it's going to cause you being pulled over on the side of that road. People say, yeah, I'm in a hurry. Well, I tell you what, when that police pull you over, that hurry is going out the window. Because let me tell you something, he going to take his time dealing with you. So wherever that was you was in a hurry to, I guarantee you ain't going to get there on time today. I can guarantee that. You might well call them and tell them, I ain't coming today. Go ahead.
Verse 10. Let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness.
Right. See, and favor being shown to the wicked gives them more and more opportunities to do wrong. You have to consider, even with all of the things that Bill Cosby got off into, whether people believe he did it or not, if this person had a job where they got to go to work in the morning, it automatically creates a system where you cannot continually do certain things. See, my elder always told me money magnifies everything that is wrong with you. You know, when a person has to still go to work in the morning, that's normally the thing that stops them where they hanging out. They might have a few drinks. You'll notice where people cut it off. All right, bruh. Woo! Gotta go work in the morning, man. This is my lab bill. That's it. Then that system is created in their head. Boom. All right, this is about my last one. I got to go to the house. But when a person has unlimited income and nowhere to go in the morning, what stops them from drinking then? That system was never created. So it just goes and goes and goes until they are destroyed. Favor to the wicked destroys the wicked. Go ahead.
In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of Yah.
Right, because he doesn't believe he has to. I don't have to stop drinking or doing whatever it is. I don't have to stop doing that because I can just lay sprawled across this floor, and you know what's going to happen in the morning? I'm still going to have money in my bank account. And I can do it all again tomorrow. Go ahead.
Yahweh, when your hand is lifted up, they shall not see, but they shall see and be ashamed for their envy at the people. Yea, the fire of your enemies shall devour them. Yahweh, who will ordain peace for us? For you also have wrought all our works in us. O Yahweh our Elohim, other masters besides you have had dominion over us, but by you only will we make mention of your name.
Mm-hmm.
They are dead, they shall not live. They are deceased, they shall not rise. Therefore have you visited and destroyed them, and made all their memory to perish. You have increased the nation, O Yahweh, you have increased the nation. You are glorified. You have removed it far on to all the ends of the earth. Yahweh, in trouble have they visited you. They poured out a prayer when your chastening was upon them.
Right. This is when everybody want to pray. This is when they want to seek Yahweh, when situation and circumstances come upon them. Then when Yahweh removed the situation and circumstances, they completely forget about Yahweh and completely forget about everything that has come out of their mouth. We would get into an agreement with Yahweh and then renegotiate the agreement. See, for me to be able to understand that, Yahweh brought it to my mind when I did it. That's that thing that we do, especially that first time we get to drinking and get that first hangover and you think you're going to die. And you make all those promises. I swear if you let me live, I promise I ain't never going to drink again. Oh my God, this is horrible. This is like death. And next week, excuse me, you got some more of that LSA? You got some more of that?